Welcome to the Knock-On Effect, the rugby show where we say what the pundits won't. The Champions Cup kicks off this Friday night. This is World Rugby's best club competition, bar none. The elite of the elite face off against each other, a competition steeped in tradition. As we mainly cover the URC here, in today's video we'll take a look at every single URC team's round 1 matchup and give you the analysis you need ahead of this weekend's fixtures. Let's get stuck in. Diving straight in, here are the matchups that we're going to be covering. The Sharks vs Exeter, Clermont against Benetton, Stormers vs Toulon, Munster vs Stade Francais, Saracens vs the Bulls, Glasgow vs Sale, Toulouse vs Ulster, and finally Bristol vs Leinster. We're going to be going over each team's position in their respective leagues, their overall win ratio, their last 3 matches out, and each team's most important players, and anything else that we find. Getting us underway is the Sharks vs Exeter. The Sharks are sitting 6th in the URC, with a game in hand. 6 matches played, 4 wins and 2 defeats. 3 wins from 3 against Stormers, Munster and Glasgow make up their last few outings. The return of Sia Khaleesi has done the Sharks wonders. With his leadership, they look like a tough side to beat, especially with the emergence of fullback Ifile Fassi. Recently called up to the Springboks, it shows how highly he's thought of. Looking at Exeter, they are dead last in the Premiership. 7 matches played and 7 losses. Exeter winger Emmanuel Faye-Woboso made a big statement over the Autumn Nations series with a try against the All Blacks. With 5 tries and 6 starts in the Premiership, there's no wonder he had received the England call-up. This one could get ugly. The Sharks have looked like a rugged outfit this season. I reckon they could do a number on Exeter here. If you've been enjoying the video, please do make sure to hit like and subscribe. It honestly massively helps us out in creating more of this kind of unfiltered rugby content. The second matchup, with France vs Italy, is Clermont vs Benetton. Clermont currently sit 3rd in the top 14. 11 games played, 7 wins and 3 losses. In their last 3 outings, they've walked away with maximum points, with wins over Castres, Lyon and Bordeaux. Clermont's attacking line is being led by the ultra-experienced Argentinian out-half Benjamin Erdipalito. You might recognise the 38-year-old from his sideline scuffle with Ronan O'Gara last season. Clermont will look to utilise the home advantage with one of the best atmospheres in Europe. They are a fast-paced team, lightning quick wingers and a mobile pack. Benetton, on the other hand, sit 12th place in the URC. 7 matches played, 2 wins, a draw and 4 losses. 2 defeats against Edinburgh and the Bulls and a 31-21 win over the Dragons make up their last 3 games. Out-half Jacob Umaga has led the Italians' attacking line, constantly looking to break down the opposition defence. Their discipline has let them down, however, with 6 yellow cards and 1 red so far this season. Benetton can't afford to give anything away here. Regardless, I think they'll be doing very well if they leave Clermont with their pride intact. Next is the Stormers vs Toulon. Starting with the Stormers, they currently sit in 13th in the URC. 6 matches played, 2 wins and 4 losses. Defeats to the Sharks and Glasgow with a win against Munster make up their last 3 outings. The Stormers really haven't been clicking so far this season. Having only started 1 match, it'll be interesting to see whether Springbok Manny Libbok will be granted permission to lead the line fresh from the Autumn Nations series. On his day, he has the ability to take over any match. Toulon, on the other hand, have been having a very different season in the top 14, currently in 4th. 11 matches played, 7 wins and 4 losses. 3 wins in the last 3 against Perpignan, Bayonne and Lyon. Dan Biggar is leading their line these days. Most notably, 24-year-old winger Gael Drehan has been making a splash with 5 tries in 6 starts this season. Ex-Munster man Antoine Frisch will be known to many of you as well, as is tight head Kyle Sinclair. Toulon play almost a rugby league style of play, big carries from the pack and flashy hands out wide. The Stormers will have to be on top form to have any chance of keeping the French Giants under wrap. Next up is my own club, Munster vs Stade Francais. It's no secret that Munster have been having a shocking start to the URC. After letting head coach Graham Rowntree go, Munster are sitting 11th in the table. 7 matches played, 3 wins and 4 losses. 2 losses to the Stormers and the Sharks, and most recently, a win versus the Lions, make up Munster's last 3 matches. Jack Crowley will no doubt be chomping at the bit to show the Irish coaching team what he's capable of. A lively Thomond Park will be desperate for a result here. Stade Francais haven't been at their best either. Currently sitting 12th in the top 14, 11 matches played, 4 wins and 7 losses. Losses to Bayonne and La Rochelle with an impressive 40-24 win over Racing make up their last 3 matches. Leading their line is Louis Carbonel. The 25-year-old out-half has 6 France caps. With the likes of Ntamak and Thomas Ramos in the squad, it shows how highly he's thought of. Carbonel commands the quick backline around the park, and if he can find spaces for his wide players, they could find a lot of success. Munster's defence coach, Dennis Leamy, has a fantastic opportunity to justify his new 2-year contract extension. Stade Francais haven't been great on the road. If the Thomond Park crowd can provide the bite and Munster bring the upfront battle, I fancy us for the win. Next up is the Saracens vs the Bulls. The Saracens are currently 4th in the Premiership. 7 matches in, 4 wins and 3 losses. In their last 3 Premiership outings, they lost to Newcastle and Leicester and narrowly beat 2nd place Bristol. With Jamie George, Mario Itoje and Ben Earl still in the squad, life after Owen Farrell hasn't been all too bad for the Saracens. Tobias Elliott has scored 5 tries in 8 games for the Saracens this year. The 21-year-old winger proves just how ruthless they can be. Looking over to the Bulls, they are 3rd in the URC with a game in hand. Wins over Connacht and Benetton and a shock loss to the Scarlets make up their last 3 matches. Another team who will be looking to make up for a lost player. Kurtley Arendse has followed many of his Springbok teammates to Japan. He'll be a big loss for the Bulls. However, youngster Kanan Moody has been prolific this season in his own right, with 4 tries and 6 starts. The Bulls are not short of talent, with the likes of Willie LaRue, David Creel, Johan Goosen and Wilco Lowe providing the quality throughout the squad. This one is incredibly close to call. The Englishmen and the Saracens will be looking to get one over on the South Africans after their Autumn Nations loss, while the Bulls will be eager to prove they're not reliant on Arendse. Next is Glasgow vs Sale. Glasgow picked up where they left off last season and are currently 2nd in the URC. 7 matches played with 5 wins and 2 losses. Wins against the Scarlets and the Stormers and a loss against the Sharks make up their last 3. Johnny Matthews is yet again sitting top of the try scorers list thanks to the Warriors' maul, while Tui Pilatu and Hugh Jones stand out in their ruthless backline. Scottish out-half Adam Hastings suffered a nasty injury against the Scarlets, however, likely meaning Duncan Weir will be taking over proceedings for the Warriors. Looking at Sale, they are currently 6th in the Premiership. 7 matches played, 4 wins and 3 losses. Their recent win against Leicester was welcomed after 2 heavy defeats to Bath and Northampton. Tom Curry and George Ford, fresh from the Nation Series, will look to upset the Scotsmen. This is Test rugby and by God does George Ford know how to keep the scoreboard ticking over. I still reckon that Glasgow have too much quality across the 23, but Sale should make this an interesting battle. Next up, Toulouse vs Ulster. Toulouse are currently 1st in the top 14. 11 matches played, 8 wins and 3 losses. A loss to Bayonne and 2 wins over Perpignan and Racing make up their last 3. Cyril Bailly, Flamand, Dupont, Ntamak, Thomas Ramos, Blair Kinghorn. This is a star-studded lineup. Toulouse play with all the flair you would expect from the top 14 leaders. They are an utter handful for any team. What a test for Ulster, who are 10th in the URC. 7 matches played, 3 wins and 4 defeats. Losses to Leinster and Cardiff and a win against the Ospreys make up their last 3. Out-half Aidan Morgan has helped revitalise the Ulstermen this season. Tom O'Toole and Cormac Izuchukwu have been the standouts from the pack, while Morgan, Jacob Stockdale and Mike Lowry will hope to apply the finishing touches to the backs. Toulouse are a powerhouse of French rugby. They will look to blitz Ulster here. The Ulster men, however, shouldn't be overlooked and pack a punch of their own. However, it's hard to see this one playing out without the Frenchmen walking away with the win. Last but certainly not least is Bristol against Leinster. Bristol are sitting second in the Premiership. 7 matches played, 5 wins and 2 defeats. Wins over the Harlequins in Northampton and a loss to the Saracens over their last 3 Premiership outings. The Bears have been led by captain Fitzharding, with the dangerous Fijian winger Kelivatu Ravovo out wide. The Bears will hope he'll work his magic. It'll be no easy feat though against URC leaders Leinster. 7 wins from 7, the unbeaten Dubliners look formidable. RG Snyman is proving his weight in gold this season. Tyg Furlong and Jamie Osborne have been ruled out, but Leinster have squad depth in spades. Andrew Porter, Josh van der Fleer, Robbie Henshaw, Gary Ringrose, James Lowe and Hugo Keenan all returning from international duty. The question being, who will start at 10? With Andy Farrell not so gently hinting at Sam Prendergast, will Leo Cullen follow suit? Whether it's Prendergast, Frawley or Byrne, I can't see Bristol claiming a win here. Leinster have looked like a well-oiled machine this season, and despite Bristol's solid Premiership form, Leinster should show their difference in class here. That wraps up all the matches. I hope this kind of overview gave you some insight into the games ahead. If you think we missed anything, feel free to leave a comment below. Cheers for watching, catch you at the next one.